What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is the What's Up Eddie channel, Divine Therapy Sessions. And of course, I'm the one and only Eddie. So glad to have you guys back, and these are my Divine Therapy Sessions. Hey guys, today, just coming at you with some real info. What are some things that you can do that could help you within your journey, just your journey in itself, let alone, I think that it's all spiritual at the end of the day. Just depends on you, how you view it, how you want to see it, right? So I would say this, you guys, I don't think any of us start out our journey like as privileged people. And even if you are privileged, you still have your own set of issues going on too. No one has it easy. But I often think about like what it is that like all of our determination is and what we're trying to find in the world, right? Usually it has to do with, after a certain age, it's shelter, relationship, and then job, right? The source of income, being that the source of income is the primary. And I think sometimes we get into a place where let's go back to the first point. I would say this is that I think what I find is the most difficult is that like none of us start out privileged, right? We're already starting in a place of lack. I know for myself, we didn't have a lot of money. That's not how it worked. And so if that was the case from the people previous, whether that be my parents or my parents before me, and I'm talking about like when I first started out my life, right? There's a certain point where I got adopted, and so that was a different story, right? But like I'm talking about, for most of us, we're not privileged like that, right? So I ask you to ask yourself this question, is like, if you didn't start out that way, how do you find yourself in a place where you become self-sufficient, where you're able to produce and manifest the money or the source of income that you want? Usually the information that we get is get a 9-to-5, work as hard as you can, save up for a house, and get a job that has retirement. That's what I was taught. That's what most of us are taught, right? But within that culture, you're always in lack. I've seen my family, I've seen other families that are in the middle class, right? And they're in a constant battle, a constant struggle, because there's either government jobs or they're doing like the 9-to-5 at whatever they're doing, right? But often I think the issue with that ideology is that you're always going to be in a place where you are a worker. You're not in a place where you can be when you're producing something, right? So like you often find as like these sad stories of like these people who have been around for a company for 20-30 years, and then they get dismissed or fired right before, or like the place shuts down, right? And it's like, to me, it's like, okay, so they didn't get the retirement. Now they're on their own. What do they do at this point, right? I think sometimes we don't look at those things as a blessing, but they are a blessing. And that's what I want to point out too, is that like, I know this story sounds kind of downing, right? But like, it's the truth. And it's in the ideas behind all of that is that we have a poor man's mentality, right? And being a worker, doing the 9-to-5, getting a 401k, that is a poor man's mentality. That's enough for you to get by. Most people, which, check this out, you guys, this is crazy information. Most people, say if one of the people in your household got hurt and you guys didn't have let's say like a State Farm insurance or something like that, you guys will be in debt for the rest of your lives. Say the guy can't work, or the female can't work. If the male in the house doesn't work and you guys are like depending on his income, most likely that all the assets will be burned through within a short amount of time, because of doctor bills, because of and then it just goes downhill from there, right? Usually people can only last about a month or two before things start getting stringent and then the cut down begins. So to ask yourself this question: if you're put into that place, what would you do? Have you thought about it? Now this is why I don't say this to be a freaking pretentious fool, you know what I mean? Like, I'm saying this because I want to put it on your radar. Right now I'm not in a place yet to, even if something happened to me, or like, fortunately I'm not in the, like, I have a different life, so like I only count on myself right now, but my story's a little different, right? So like, I just came out of being homeless 18 months ago, so where I am today is astronomically better than where it was before. And I can't explain to you guys that how the journey is when you lose everything and then have to redo it again. That's the most, I think that is probably one of the most difficult, but the most rewarding, it's one of the most rewarding adventures that I've ever been on. It's not fun, I don't recommend it. That was my life though. That's what I chose to do. Unfortunately, drugs and alcohol took me to that place. But I say this subject, you guys, just for you to think. It's like, okay, well, how do we fix this, right? Like, we can always talk a subject blue in the face, but what is the thing that we can do today that's going to make the change, right? Like, what can we do today, right? This is why I say spirituality, and all spirituality is concepts that are applied, but it's a way of living that's more. Spirituality has nothing to do with religion. It does, but it does not in the way that you think. Spirituality does have a supernatural to it, but I'm talking about concepts that you can apply to your life that will bring you to a better way of living, where you're more sound thinking. And you have to have thinking, and you realize within this spiritual process that this thinking will allow you to get out of the matrix thinking. And all the matrix is, at the end of the day, is the ideas that were sold to you. And so what is the most difficult thing for a person to do? See, look, check this out, you guys. If you guys were born into a family, and I always have the most dramatic examples, but if you were born into a family where, let's say, everyone, I won't go as bad as that, as what I was thinking. Let's say that say you were living in a family that was a cartel, right? And everyone sold drugs, everyone was in that way of living. That would be natural to you, right? And when you see other people, you most likely won't be able to, you won't have the same ideology as other people, right? But it's your norm. Now, and the way that you live your life is different from other people. You would have to be living different. Now, that matrix is what you got sold into. And see, when you apply spirituality to your life, you realize that there's more going on in the world, right? So how does that spirituality affect you in your daily decisions? Well, it's simple as this, you guys. One of the main things within the spiritual process is finding out who and what you are. And when you find out that you have power, that is something that changes deeply within you. There's this feeling within inside where I know for myself is like, even though I don't have very much money, you know, I have limited resources at this moment in my life, but something has changed for me on a spiritual level, right? And you will see within a short amount of time how this is going to change, because I'm vibrating at a high vibration, right? So I'm already calling in the assets that are already mine, that are already my birthright. So you'll get to figure out this one concept, you guys, is that when you live in authenticity, when you're authentic to yourself, what does that mean? It means that you're no longer, because you're going to reside in some type of matrix. It's just the way it works. We live within this realm, right? And so when you're authentic, what you're doing and living is you're living within the parameters of how you want to live. I think the most difficult thing for people is this, you guys. We don't think about what we want, how we want to do it. Because a lot of the times when we grow up, we're told certain things about ourselves, right? Like, so for myself, a lot of people told me, well, you have a pretty face. You're not smart. Don't worry about school. I was good at sports, right? So I was athletic. So, oh, you should do something in the sports field, or you should be a nurse. I have this ability. I catch on really well when it in regards to like the medical field, but I've never really wanted to do it. But what I'm saying is like we buy into those dynamics, right? And especially because it's like our close ones that tell us those things. No faults of their own. We all go in the same. We all live in those same parameters, right? Whatever you're living in is what you're doing, right? Is what you're gonna do. So when you live a spiritual life, oftentimes you hear the word authenticity, living your authentic life, your most authentic life, your true life. When you're on this process, I can't explain it any other way, you guys, and I don't know the whole process because I haven't gotten there yet. But it's in a process to ascension, and I believe ascension. All that means is this, you guys: we get to a place where we're truly we've brought heaven to earth, and the only way to do that is that there is a step-by-step process to get there, and you intuitively know what indicated step you want to take next or need to take. And in the journey, you're going to get help. And that help is usually with people, places, things, guides, spirit guides, you name it, it's all there. And you'll open up to that. And if you guys know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. So you don't have to know what's coming. You just know that it is, because when you get to a place of being authentic, that's being who you truly are, right? Like for me, I'm a goofy dude. I am intelligent, highly intelligent. I am a handsome man, and I own all of it. I love religion. I really do. I love the teachings in it, but I don't agree with what the people do within the church, right? Like, I don't like the judgment. I don't like the undermining. There's all that other stuff, right? Like, I also don't like the fact that there's this stigma on homosexuality. Who is it who are we to say if that is wrong or right? And if that's what God intended for us or didn't intend for us, it's not within our bounds to judge another person, right? I grew up with those conflicts in my mind, so it tainted and skewed the version of God that I needed to know, which is necessary because that's who I will be saving now, right? There's going to be someone out there that hears my story and says, you know what, I go through the same thing. I know exactly what that guy's talking about. This is what I mean, you guys. So right now, I'm pursuing my dreams. So the unfortunate part, but beautiful. So the bittersweet part, it's a double-edged sword, right? And that's usually how it works in spirituality. You have to give up stuff. You have to give up everything in your old life to begin this new life, and that's the most difficult part about the whole process. You find yourself in a constant battle with going within the old matrix to this new way of living, this golden, I'd say the golden age of way of thinking. And you guys, however you want to put this, good and bad, high vibration, low vibration, being with God or being without God, or whatever the case is, it's entirely up to you. That is your journey, that's your choice, but I'm telling you that everyone's going to have to go through this ascension process within the next century. There's no doubt in my mind. And you will see that the economical, the political, all of the different sections, or however you want to say that, in the world will start to deplete and get worse and worse and worse, because those old programs no longer are able to exist within the new realm. And this new realm is this new style, new type of thinking. You see this within our younger people, right? These indigo children, crystal children, rainbow children. I fall within that realm as well. Anyone after 86, you're going to find that that we no longer think like the old way of thinking, right? The old way of program, because it's no longer existing. So whether or not you want to think about it in the terms of that's God changing the atmosphere so we can start changing the way that we treat Mother Earth, right? So within this capacity to be in authenticity, what does that mean for you? that means what you wanted to do when you were a young kid, man. Like, those are your true callings. Everyone knows in their heart what they really want to do. For me, I always said the same thing. I want to create, I want to communicate, and I want to help. Well, so what does that mean? And now it makes sense because what I'm doing right now, right? But I had to experience a full 34 years or 33 years of suffering, or I lived life. And I say it's not all bad, but I went through a lot of stuff. You heard my story before within my other videos, right? But it's that life experience is my PhD within the realm of helping, right? And that helping is getting my story out, telling another person that's struggling with addiction or drug addiction, alcoholism, PTSD, being homeless, growing up poor, making the wrong decisions, but you can still turn it around. That's inspirational. So now I'm living within because there's other people that have told me, "What are you doing? You sound crazy. Why are you doing this? All you do is talk about alcohol or alcoholism." It's like, well, you didn't want me drinking before, and you had a lot to say to me about it, but now that I've gotten help and I've been sober, now you don't want me to talk about it? Like, I'm trying to save other people, or I'm trying to at least get the information out there to inspire someone to change their frame of mind, right? So you're not going to win on any capacity, so you might as well embrace this authenticity that is within all of us, whatever that may be, you guys. And that's what, if there's any message, you guys, the message I will tell you is this: whatever is in your heart space, whatever that is, bring out that damn tiger, man. Bring out the tiger, and go exactly and do exactly what you want to do within that authenticity. And obviously there's other things within the spiritual journey. I have other videos that explain this new lifestyle, but I would just say this, you guys, it's like, if you're not, there's no reason for any of us to waste time here. And I believe that it's a waste of time to wake up, go to a 9-to-5, do the job that we absolutely hate, but it pays the rent. We get home and we're unsatisfied. We come home and we're tired, so we berate our wife or husband, and then berate our kids. Possibly kick the dog, I don't know. See, this is what I'm saying is that, like, so in spirituality, you realize that there is no difference between the home life, the work life, the business life, the professional life, whatever life you want to call it. They're all the same thing, and they all need you to develop your spirituality at the end of the day. That's what the awakening process is all about. There is no difference. Far in the distant future, everyone will have to do this ascension process. Everybody. So I there's people before me that have done it way, way before I have, but I feel like I'm ahead of the curve because you realize that, like, there's a lot of people awakening now. So this is your time period to do what is being called for you to do. Whatever is in your heart space, I don't care what it is, man. As long as you're helping humanity and you believe that that's what you're supposed to do and it makes you happy, do that. Don't do that 9-to-5 that I keep doing. And if you look at, I understand there's always a transition period. Everyone has a different story, and everyone, look, at the end of the day, you're going to have to find out how to transition from that work life to the dream life. To the life that you absolutely want. But you have to make that transition, and the only way to do it is to have a paradigm shift. You have to have a new set of values, a new set of systems, and the only way you're going to be able to do that, I believe, is within this spiritual process. I love you guys so much. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Hopefully you guys gathered something from this. I love this work. I love to motivate. I love to get people thinking about other things. I don't think that we should live a life anymore of mediocrity, of this place where things feel mundane. I don't like that about life. Like, I don't have it all. I like I said before, I have limited resources at this moment, but this is just at the moment. My spirituality, I'm filled up. I'm filled up in spirit, right? You'll find that a big change will happen within a short amount of time. See, from the 18 months ago to now, I've done things in this short amount of time that I couldn't do in the 33 years before, previous. And that's because of the spiritual process. So, and I said this before in some of my previous videos, but the thing to remember is this, that energy, it's all energy at the end of the day. And so money is actually considered the lowest form of energy that you can exchange with somebody, right? There's just because you're a rich man doesn't make you you don't have a fulfilled rich life, or a rich woman, you don't have a fulfilled life. That's not how it works, because a fulfilled life is being happy at home, your other significant other loving you as well, the friendships that you have around you, because that's what's everlasting, who you were as a person, what you've done with your life. God, when you go in front of the maker or the creator and he asks you, what did you do with your life? Well, I made $7 million and I ensured that I ruled with an iron fist, and I made people feel bad about themselves, and I imprisoned other people. I imprisoned my wife where she felt like she couldn't go anywhere. I secretly bought whatever the heck I wanted to within like the low vibrations. See, that's not what God wants to hear. He doesn't want to hear that you went to your 9 to 5 and you lived a life to just try to get by. He wants to hear you say, you know what, God? This is what I did. I struggled. I struggled my ass off, God. And I did everything that I could to go after my dream. And I made it. I made my dream come true. And I became authentic in it. And I became to know you. You already know that though, don't you? And he'll look at me and say, did you help everyone else? Of course I did, Father. I'm on a mission of helping others. That's what my job is. So I'll tell you guys this, man. Usually, and you'll find out within this process, is that like your authenticity, and once you fill yourself up. My last video that I just uploaded, it's called Being Selfish Until You Heal. Check that video out. You want to fill yourself up before you get to the next level, and the next level is service to others. So be in service to self, and then service to others. I like to call it the 60-40 rule. You want to be in service to others 60%, 40% in service to yourself. And you think about it in the terms of what your life is, right? Like how long you live on earth. You don't know. And I believe that I like the idea of everyone has an idea of the afterlife, right? I think that when you look at it like this, check this out. I like the Egyptian way of thinking, the old Pharaoh way of when you have Osiris. I think it's Osiris, who's and I forget the other names, but like they have the waist. You sit on the scale, or you're on the scale, and then the feather of truth is on the other side. And I believe that like if you're in the 60-40 within the realm of your life, you have a true heart, right? I like that idea, right? Because it shows that you've done something with your life, and I promise you that your life would be filled up more when you actually start to help other people. I'm not telling you to be a motivational speaker like me. I'm not saying to be a life coach. I'm not saying to aim for those processes, right? But what I'm saying is that once you've gotten to a place where you're secure and you're happy within your job, go and help another person, and make that part of your schedule, because that is where you'll find success. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Make sure to subscribe, give me a thumbs up. All right, guys.